of an Elizabethan peasant, is pottering and doddering among the pots and dods. He is an old man, well past the prime of life, no longer young. From the fact that there is a burr in his speech and that he has absent-mindedly put on his coat wrong side out, we surmise that he is either above or below the ordinary superficialities of life. Near him on the grass lies Peter, a little boy. Peter, of course, has his chin on his palm like the pictures of the young Sir Walter Raleigh. He has a complete set of features, including serious, somber, even funereal, grey eyes, and radiates that alluring air of never having eaten food. This air can best be radiated during the afterglow of a beef dinner. He is looking at Mr. Icky, fascinated. Silence. The song of birds. Peter, often at night I sit at my window and regard the stars. Sometimes I think they're my stars. Gravely, I think I shall be a star some day. Mr. Icky, whimsically, yes, yes, yes. Peter, I know them all, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Gloria Swanson. Mr. Icky, I don't take no stock in astronomy. I've been thinking o' Lunnon, laddie. And calling to mind my daughter, who has gone for to be a typewriter. He sighs. Peter, I liked Ulsa, Mr. Icky, she was so plump, so round, so buxom. Mr. Icky, not worth the paper she was padded with, laddie. He stumbles over a pile of pots and dods. Peter, how is your asthma, Mr. Icky? Mr. Icky, worse, thank God, gloomily. I'm 100 years old. I'm getting brittle. Peter, I suppose life has been pretty tame since you gave up petty arson. Mr. Icky, yes, yes. You see, Peter, laddie, when I was 50 I reformed once, in prison. Peter, you went wrong again. Mr. Icky, worse than that. The week before my term expired they insisted on transferring to me the glands of a healthy young prisoner they were executing. Peter, and it renovated you. Mr. Icky, renovated me. It put the old Nick back into me. This young criminal was evidently a suburban burglar and a kleptomaniac. What was a little playful arson in comparison? Peter, odd, how ghastly. Science is the bunk. Mr. Icky, sighing, I got him pretty well subdued now. 'Tisn't he everyone who has to tire out 2 sets o' glands in his lifetime. I wouldn't take another set for all the animal spirits in an orphan asylum. Peter, considering, I shouldn't think you'd object to a nice quiet old clergyman's set. Mr. Icky, clergymen haven't got glands, they have souls. There is a low, sonorous honking off stage to indicate that a large motor car has stopped in the immediate vicinity. Then a young man handsomely attired in a dress suit and a patent leather silk hat comes onto the stage. He is very mundane. His contrast to the spirituality of the other two is observable as far back as the first row of the balcony. This is Rodney Devine. Devine, I am looking for Ulsa Icky. Mr. Icky rises and stands tremulously between two dots. Mr. Icky, my daughter is in London. Divine, she has left London. She is coming here. I have followed her. He reaches into the little mother-of-pearl satchel that hangs at his side for cigarettes. He selects one and scratching a match touches it to the cigarette. The cigarette instantly lights. Divine, I shall wait. He waits. Several hours pass. There is no sound except an occasional cackle or hiss from the Dodds as they quarrel among themselves. Several songs can be introduced here or some card tricks by Divine or a tumbling act, as desired. Divine, it's very quiet here. Mr. Icky, yes, very quiet. Suddenly a loudly dressed girl appears. She is very worldly. It is Ulsa Icky. On her is one of those shapeless faces peculiar to early Italian painting. Ulsa, in a coarse, worldly voice, Father. Here I am. Ulsa did what? Mr. Icky, tremulously, Ulsa, little Ulsa. They embrace each other's torsos. Mr. Icky, hopefully, you've come back to help with the ploughing. Ulsa, sullenly, no, Father, ploughing's such a bather. I'd rather not. Though her accent is broad, the content of her speech is sweet and clean. Divine, conciliatingly, see here, Ulsa. Let's come to an understanding. He advances toward her with the graceful, even stride that made him captain of the striding team at Cambridge. Ulsa, you still say it would be Jack. Mr. Icky, what does she mean? Divine, kindly, my dear, of course, it would be Jack. It couldn't be Frank. Mr. Icky, Frank who? Ulsa, it would be Frank. Some risk joke can be introduced here. Mr. Icky, whimsically, no good fighting, no good fighting. Divine, reaching out to stroke her arm with the powerful movement that made him stroke of the crew at Oxford, you'd better marry me. Ulsa, scornfully, why, they wouldn't let me in through the servants' entrance of your house. Divine, angrily, they wouldn't. Never fear, you shall come in through the mistress' entrance. Ulsa, sir. Divine, in confusion, I beg your pardon. You know what I mean. Mr. Icky, aching with whimsy, you want to marry my little Ulsa. Divine, I do. Mr. Icky, your record is clean. Divine, excellent. I have the best constitution in the world, Ulsa, and the worst bylaws. Divine, at Eton I was a member at Pop, at Rugby I belonged to Nearbeer. As a younger son I was destined for the police force. Mr. Icky, skip that. Have you money? Divine, what's of it? I should expect Ulsa to go downtown in sections every morning, in 2 Rolls Royces. I have also a kiddie car and a converted tank. I have seats at the opera. Ulsa, sullenly, I can't sleep except in a box. And I've heard that you were cashiered from your club. Mr. Icky, a cashier. Divine, hanging his head, I was cashiered. Ulsa, what for? Divine, almost inaudibly, I hid the polo balls one day for a joke. Mr. Icky, is your mind in good shape? Divine, gloomily, fair. After all, what is brilliance? Merely the tact to sow when no one is looking and reap when everyone is. Mr. Icky, be careful. I will not marry my daughter to an epigram. Divine, more gloomily, I assure you I'm a mere platitude. I often descend to the level of an innate idea. Ulcer, dully, none of what you're saying matters. I can't marry a man who thinks it would be Jack. Why Frank would, Divine, interrupting, nonsense. Ulcer, emphatically, you're a fool. Mr. Icky, tut tut. One should not judge. Charity, my girl. What was it Nero said, with malice toward none, with charity toward all? Peter, that wasn't Nero. That was John Drinkwater. Mr. Icky, come. Who is this Frank? Who is this Jack? Divine, morosely, Gotch. Ulcer, Dempsey. Divine, we were arguing that if they were deadly enemies and locked in a room together, which one would come out alive. Now I claimed that Jack Dempsey would take one. Ulcer, angrily, rot. He wouldn't have a. Divine, quickly, you win. Ulcer, then I love you again. Mr. Icky, so I'm going to lose my little daughter. Ulcer, you've still got a house full of children. Charles, Ulcer's brother, coming out of the cottage. He is dressed as if to go to sea, a coil of rope is slung about his shoulder and an anchor is hanging from his neck. Charles, not seeing them, I'm going to sea. I'm going to sea. His voice is triumphant. Mr. Icky, sadly, you went to sea long ago. Charles, I've been reading Conrad. Peter, dreamily, Conrad 2 years before the mast by Henry James. Charles, what? Peter, Walter Pater's version of Robinson Crusoe. Charles, to his father, I can't stay here and rot with you. I want to live my life. I want to hunt eels. Mr. Icky, I will be here, when you come back. Charles, contemptuously, why, the worms are licking their chops already when they hear your name. It will be noticed that some of the characters have not spoken for some time. It will improve the technique if they can be rendering a spirited saxophone number. Mr. Icky, mournfully, these vales, these hills, these McCormick harvesters, they mean nothing to my children. I understand. Charles, more gently, then you'll think of me kindly, father. To understand is to forgive. Mr. Icky, no. No, we never forgive those we can understand, we can only forgive those who wound us for no reason at all. Charles, impatiently, I'm so beastly sick of your human nature line. And, anyway, I hate the hours around here. Several dozen more of Mr. Icky's children trip out of the house, trip over the grass, and trip over the pots and dods. They are muttering, we are going away and we are leaving you. Mr. Icky, his heart breaking, they're all deserting me. I've been too kind. Spare the rod and spoil the fun. Oh, for the glands of a Bismarck. There is a honking outside, probably Divine's chauffeur growing impatient for his master. Mr. Icky, in misery, they do not love the soil. They have been faithless to the great potato tradition. He picks up a handful of soil passionately and rubs it on his bald head. Hair sprouts. Oh, Wordsworth, Wordsworth, how true you spoke. No motion has she now, no force, she does not hear or feel, rolled round on earth's diurnal course in someone's Oldsmobile. They all groan and shouting life and jazz move slowly toward the wings. Charles, back to the soil, yes. I've been trying to turn my back to the soil for 10 years. Another child, the farmers may be the backbone of the country, but who wants to be a backbone? Another child, I care not who hoes the lettuce of my country if I can eat the salad. All, life. Psychic research. Jazz. Mr. Icky, struggling with himself, I must be quaint. That's all there is. It's not life that counts, it's the quaintness you bring to it. All, we're going to slide down the Riviera. We've got tickets for Piccadilly Circus. Life. Jazz. Mr. Icky, wait. Let me read to you from the Bible. Let me open it at random. One always finds something that bears on the situation. He finds a Bible lying in one of the dods and opening it at random begins to read. Ahab and Istimo and Anim, Goshen and Olan and Gilo, 11 cities and their villages. Arab, and Rumah, and Esau, Charles, cruelly, buy 10 more rings and try again. Mr. Icky, trying again, how beautiful art thou my love, how beautiful art thou. Thy eyes are dove's eyes, besides what is hid within. Thy hair is as flocks of goats which come up from Mount Garlad, hm. Rather a coarse passage, his children laugh at him rudely, shouting jazz, and all life is primarily suggestive. Mr. Icky, despondently, it won't work today. Hopefully, maybe it's damp. He feels it, yes, it's damp. There was water in the dod. It won't work. All, it's damp. It won't work. Jazz. One of the children, come, we must catch the 6:30. Any other cue may be inserted here. Mr. Icky, goodbye. They all go out. Mr. Icky is left alone. He sighs and walking over to the cottage steps, lies down, and closes his eyes. Twilight has come down and the stage is flooded with such light as never was on land or sea. There is no sound except a sheep-herder's wife in the distance playing an aria from Beethoven's 10th Symphony, on a mouth organ. The great white and grey moths swoop down and light on the old man until he is completely covered by them. But he does not stir. The curtain goes up and down several times to denote the lapse of several minutes. A good comedy effect can be obtained by having Mr. Icky cling to the curtain and go up and down with it. Fireflies or fairies on wires can also be introduced at this point. Then Peter appears, a look of almost imbecile sweetness on his face. In his hand he clutches something and from time to time glances at it in a transport of ecstasy. After a struggle with himself he lays it on the old man's body and then quietly withdraws. The moths chatter among themselves and then scurry away in sudden fright. And as night deepens there still sparkles there, small, white and round, breathing a subtle perfume to the west-Yorkshire breeze, Peter's gift of love, a mothball. The play can end at this point or can go on indefinitely. Jemina, the Mountain Girl. This don't pretend to be literature. This is just a tale for red-blooded folks who want a story and not just a lot of psychological stuff or analysis. Boy, you'll love it. Read it here, see it in the movies, play it on the phonograph, run it through the sewing machine. A wild thing it was night in the mountains of Kentucky. Wild hills rose on all sides. Swift mountain streams flowed rapidly up and down the mountains. Jemina Tantrum was down at the stream, brewing whiskey at the family still. She was a typical mountain girl. Her feet were bare. Her hands, large and powerful, hung down below her knees. Her face showed the ravages of work. Although but 16, she had for over a dozen years been supporting her aged pappy and mappy by brewing mountain whiskey. From time to time she would pause in her task, and, filling a dipper full of the pure, invigorating liquid, would drain it off, then pursue her work with renewed vigor. She would place the rye in the vat, thresh it out with her feet and, in 20 minutes, the completed product would be turned out. A sudden cry made her pause in the act of draining a dipper and look up. "Hello," said a voice. It came from a man clad in hunting boots reaching to his neck, who had emerged. "Can you tell me the way to the Tantrum's cabin? Are you uns from the settlements down there?" She pointed her hand down to the bottom of the hill, where Louisville lay. She had never been there, but once, before she was born, her great-grandfather, Old Gore Tantrum, had gone into the settlements in the company of 2 marshals, and had never come back. So the Tantrums, from generation to generation, had learned to dread civilization. The man was amused. He laughed a light tinkling laugh, the laugh of a Philadelphian. Something in the ring of it thrilled her. She drank off another dipper of whiskey. "Where is Mr. Tantrum, little girl?" he asked, not without kindness. She raised her foot and pointed her big toe toward the woods. "Dar in the cabin behind those thar pines. Old Tantrum my old man." The man from the settlements thanked her and strode off. He was fairly vibrant with youth and personality. As he walked along he whistled and sang and turned handsprings and flapjacks, breathing in the fresh, cool air of the mountains. The air around the still was like wine. Jemina Tantrum watched him entranced. No one like him had ever come into her life before. She sat down on the grass and counted her toes. She counted 11. She had learned arithmetic in the mountain school. A mountain feud 10 years before a lady from the settlements had opened a school on the mountain. Jemina had no money, but she had paid her way in whiskey, bringing a pailful to school every morning and leaving it on Miss Lafarge's desk. Miss Lafarge had died of delirium tremens after a year's teaching, and so Gemina's education had stopped. Across the still stream, still another still was standing. It was that of the doldrums. The doldrums and the tantrums never exchanged calls. They hated each other. 50 years before Old Jem Doldrum and Old Jem Tantrum had quarrelled in the Tantrum cabin over a game of slapjack. Jem Doldrum had thrown the King of Hearts in Jem Tantrum's face, and Old Tantrum, enraged, had felled the old doldrum with the 9 of diamonds. Other doldrums and tantrums had joined in, and the little cabin was soon filled with flying cards. Harstrum Doldrum, one of the younger doldrums, lay stretched on the floor writhing in agony, the ace of hearts crammed down his throat. Jem Tantrum, standing in the doorway, ran through suit after suit, his face alight with fiendish hatred. Old Mappy Tantrum stood on the table wetting down the doldrums with hot whiskey. Old Heck Doldrum, having finally run out of trumps, was backed out of the cabin, striking left and right with his tobacco pouch, and gathering around him the rest of his clan. Then they mounted their steers and galloped furiously home. That night Old Man Doldrum and his sons, vowing vengeance, had returned, put a tic-tac on the tantrum window, stuck a pin in the doorbell, and beaten a retreat. A week later the tantrums had put cod liver oil in the doldrums still, and so, from year to year, the feud had continued, first one family being entirely wiped out, then the other. The birth of love. Every day little Jemina worked the still on her side of the stream, and Bosco Doldrum worked the still on his side. Sometimes, with automatic inherited hatred, the feudists would throw whiskey at each other, and Jemina would come home smelling like a French table d'hôte. But now Jemina was too thoughtful to look across the stream. How wonderful the stranger had been, and how oddly he was dressed. In her innocent way she had never believed that there were any civilized settlements at all, and she had put the belief in them down to the credulity of the mountain people. She turned to go up to the cabin, and, as she turned, something struck her in the neck. It was a sponge, thrown by Bosco Doldrum, a sponge soaked in whiskey from his still on the other side of the stream. "Hi, da, Bosco Doldrum," she shouted in her deep bass voice. "Yo, Jemina Tantrum." "Gosh ding yo," he returned. She continued her way to the cabin. The stranger was talking to her father. Gold had been discovered on the Tantrum land, and the stranger, Edgar Edison, was trying to buy the land for a song. He was considering what song to offer. She sat upon her hands and watched him. He was wonderful. When he talked, his lips moved. She sat upon the stove and watched him. Suddenly there came a blood-curdling scream. The tantrums rushed to the windows. It was the doldrums. They had hitched their steers to trees and concealed themselves behind the bushes and flowers, and soon a perfect rattle of stones and bricks beat against the windows, bending them inward. "Father, father!" shrieked Jemina. Her father took down his slingshot from his slingshot rack on the wall and ran his hand lovingly over the elastic band. He stepped to a loophole. Old Mappy Tantrum stepped to the coal hole. A mountain battle. The stranger was aroused at last. Furious to get at the doldrums, he tried to escape from the house by crawling up the chimney. Then he thought there might be a door under the bed, but Jemina told him there was not. He hunted for doors under the beds and sofas, but each time Jemina pulled him out and told him there were no doors there. Furious with anger, he beat upon the door and hollered at the doldrums. They did not answer him, but kept up their fusillade of bricks and stones against the window. Old Pappy Tantrum knew that just as soon as they were able to effect an aperture they would pour in and the fight would be over. Then old Heck Doldrum, foaming at the mouth and expectorating on the ground, left and right, led the attack. The terrific slingshots of Pappy Tantrum had not been without their effect. A master shot had disabled one doldrum, and another doldrum, shot almost incessantly through the abdomen, fought feebly on. Nearer and nearer they approached the house. "We must fly," shouted the stranger to Jemina. "I will sacrifice myself and bear you away." "No," shouted Pappy Tantrum, his face begrimed. "You stay here and fit on. I will bar Jemina away. I will bar Mappy away. I will bar myself away." The man from the settlements, pale and trembling with anger, turned to Ham Tantrum, who stood at the door throwing loophole after loophole at the advancing doldrums. "Will you cover the retreat?" But Ham said that he too had tantrums to bear away, but that he would leave himself here to help the stranger cover the retreat, if he could think of a way of doing it. Soon smoke began to filter through the floor and ceiling. Shem Doldrum had come up and touched a match to old Japhet Tantrum's breath as he leaned from a loophole, and the alcoholic flames shot up on all sides. The whiskey in the bathtub caught fire. The walls began to fall in. Jemina and the man from the settlements looked at each other. "Jemina," he whispered. "Stranger," she answered. "We will die together," he said. "If we had lived I would have taken you to the city and married you. With your ability to hold liquor, your social success would have been assured." She caressed him idly for a moment, counting her toes softly to herself. The smoke grew thicker. Her left leg was on fire. She was a human alcohol lamp. Their lips met in one long kiss and then a wall fell on them and blotted them out. As one. When the doldrums burst through the ring of flame, they found them dead where they had fallen, their arms about each other. Old Jem Doldrum was moved. He took off his hat. He filled it with whiskey and drank it off. "They are dead," he said slowly. They hankered after each other. "The fit is over now. We must not part them." So they threw them together into the stream, and the two splashes they made were as one. Asterisk 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 End of the Project Gutenberg ebook Tales of the Jazz Age asterisk 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 Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the General Terms of Use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works, by using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg. You agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg. 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, You must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that S/he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116, 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment, including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways, including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the U.S. unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.